Hi everyone, I'm Allie.
Hi, and I'm Anna.
And we're going to be doing a spotlight for you today on working with resin. So we are working with
Gel de Soleil.
Say it fancy.
Gel de Soleil.
So no, we're not doing a circus. We are making, it sounds kind of circusy. We are going to be working and showing you basically what is this cool resin. It's a one-part resin as opposed to a multi-part resin.
Yeah. So all you have to do is take the cap off and drop it in, which is super nice. So these are some examples of what you can do. I have here, actually brought in from home, some rings that my husband made. This is what he likes to do in his spare time. So you can use images from anything. He uses beer bottles, old album artwork that he cuts out, and then we have some stuff that's a little bit more feminine.
Yeah.
So you've got, you know, any images for magazines or anything that you want to put in. It doesn't even have to be paper.
Yeah, the one here that I had done in one of the actual videos on it, kind of showing how to do it, this was fabric. You actually have a really awesome pair of earrings that you didn't bring in, but you should have. That's two different pieces of fabric that you had done like a while ago. Like one of the first times we used it, we did this actually with nun designs.
Calico fabrics are great too, because they're tiny little prints, and you're usually working at a small scale, so.
And a lot of times with small things for earrings or sort of links, it's kind of fun to have them not exact on each side. So the kind of, the whole funness of this, we'll say, it says, here's the packaging that I'll Vanna White here for you. It says, sunlight curing epoxy. Anna, do you always use sunlight?
No, because it takes so long.
So long. Yeah. So what would you recommend?
A UV lamp. That's what we. That's what my husband uses.
That's what we use is a UV light, and it says no mix, just pour and expose. Optically clear, non-yellow formula. Some of the resin that I have seen does like yellow over time. So the nice thing is with the Gel de Soleil, it doesn't. The other thing, it gives you direct. It gives you like exact instructions, and it says cure in direct midday sunlight or ultraviolet curing lamp. It's way easier and way better. You get a more consistent one to actually do the UV light. And when we were working with it,
doesn't take as long. So if you have cats like we do, you don't have to worry about them knocking things over.
Or if you're doing layering, because you can actually layer it, that you can do, like this one's in the process of being layered, that it has one image in the back, and then it has some crystals, and then it has more. So it gives literally that layering effect, kind of like the one here with thread too. I think I did like a newspaper or something down below, and then did the thread layering.
And then you put some gel, and then let it cure. Piled it on, put something else, so you can actually build a 3D layer.
Yeah, and the 3D layering actually is good because those layers dry super quick and it's not super thick. But the other thing that I like with the Gel de Soleil is that you kind of get a little bit of that cab shape to it, that you can puff it up and it's not that sunken in version of working with it.
Yeah, so, it looks like a glass dome on top when it's done. Yeah,
exactly. So, are you gonna? Yeah. Let's see how you do.
Yeah. So okay. So I have a couple things here. I should probably use the.
You want to try to use the Potomac's clasps?
So this is just a little example of what something would look like before you put the image in. You want something that has a bezel, so it has a little lip around the edge. This is just a simple pendant. But then I have one of our. This is the Potomac's 3-strand twisted clasp. I think it's called Nest. I can't read it there, but I think it's Nest. So this is a push clasp. And I'm going to take the one side out so that as I'm working with it, I don't accidentally get resin and glue it to my piece.
So, and how are you going to solve the issue that you have the holes there?
So, what I was thinking was, when I have this random little image I got from magazine. I was thinking that once I have this cut the right size, it would cover the holes.
Yeah.
So
you'll take so you covered it initially with the Permalac.
I covered this with Permalac.
Okay.
I covered my paper with Permalac. You can also use, like, if you have Elmer's glue or something, but you want to make sure that you seal the surface, especially if it's something that could potentially bleed.
Because you don't want the colors to run onto it.
Yeah. So let's see how well I do here. I'm going to trace the outside of my, and not very successfully because I'm doing this on camera. And this is, of course, the outside so I can cut a little bit on the inside.
So my suggestion for this, as Anna's kind of cutting off screen there, is that what you could do is actually take a piece of cardboard or something, especially if you're doing multiples. Take something like a piece of cardboard, even cut apart a little bit of the instructions, and you make yourself basically a template. And then that template, you can take off and trace your paper, and that way you'll have it exactly where you want it.
So this is way bigger than I need it to be, but one thing that I like to do is push the paper in there,
Crease it around
and
the
then
edges.
crease it around the edge.
And that's
So if I get it good, like kind of on one side, I can crease it on the edge, and then I can see and I can cut it.
And then you don't have lines on your paper, which is nice too.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to make that template and put that on, then you can actually take the piece of paper, if you're doing a paper or an image, flip it over, trace around the back, and then cut out the back. And this one here is for, let's see, 12 millimeter. So the 12 millimeter.
A little small. Actually,
you just need
it
pretty good. Especially because you do need it to come up the sides.
Yeah.
Because you don't want the resin to go in.
Yeah, so I would always suggest having your paper, if you're going to err on the side of too big or too small, make it a little bit too big, because that'll cover the edges and you won't see what's underneath. Yeah.
All right, so pour.
Okay, so
Pour,
I
baby,
have that in there.
And it comes in a little, as Anna's doing that, it says cures in direct sunlight or UV lamp, exposed for 20 to 30 minutes to set, continues to harden over time, can be layered.
You know what I'm going to do?
Yeah.
You have that permalac on you?
I do, it's right there.
It's over here.
Yep.
I'm going to use the permalac as a little bit of glue, because normally I would suggest
gluing your image down.
Gluing your image down. Of course, this is
now
down.
She's got her image
now it's down. So pretend like I put a little.
So Anna glued a little bit there before the whole thing pops up, and then go ahead and grab the permalac.
So this, we were talking about it not being a two-part resin. Two-part resins, you have to take two pieces or two parts, mix them, and then quickly use it before it hardens.
Yeah.
This is super nice because none of that, I don't have to do any of that. All I have to do is squeeze little drops of resin.
So if you can kind of work with a dropper,
that's why we like to glue it down.
So you basically are just going to start at the interior, move to the exterior of it, and then if you get little bumps, you can just take a little beading needle, kind of pull them back to the sides and pull them back to the edges.
So I'm going to grab that needle off of you. Okay. And I did not load it up with resin because I want to make sure that I get a nice thin layer first and I get it even and I get the bubbles out, because you can always pile on. You can always layer it. So you'd rather err on the side of just doing a little bit and then layering it rather than putting it all out on at once and then ending up with a mess and tons of bubbles.
Also, if you start this and then you need to go to get your nails done, you can just do it right before you leave the house, put them in a tray, and then be like, while your nails are underneath cured.
What a nice surprise.
Yeah. And then you can say, oh, I'm also going to pop this underneath here to cure in my UV light as I'm doing my nails too.
So these little bubbles will just be in your resin there, and you can let them kind of come to the surface, but you want to make sure you take a really sharp, pointy needle and pop them.
Or you can kind of, if you can't get them popped, kind of pull them off to the edges as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can work with those. And
And
of course,
it's really, really simple to the point that basically I would do this with kids. We actually did this as a bead and wine night, that we took we told people to bring in different photographs, different images, different things. And then they cut them out and we kind of had them glue them. Then we all drank a glass of wine and then we actually poured in the resin, they put them in, and then we designed a bracelet around it. Some people bought in photographs, they bought in magazine clippings, they just took old cards. Cards are a really cool thing too. Yep. And if you have like something that is ink or pen, you do want to make sure to do that Mod Podge or glue over top of it. And that will hold that color in fast as you're working with it and kind of getting that in. So coming back here to Anna's creation.
I also use my needle I got rid of that bubble, and then I also use my needle to kind of like if you're putting like batter in a pan, you want to even it out.
Even it out.
Yeah, so I just used my needle to kind of bring this all to the edges so that it made a nice clean seal, because you want that to come up right to the edge of whatever your bezel is.
And actually batter is a really great example, because you don't want it to be too high. Yeah, you don't want it to be too high around the edges, and also you don't want those bubbles, so you can kind of push it down and get the bubbles out as well there. So it'll take about, again, 15 minutes in that light cure to time. And we have so many different findings and so many different things now. Actually, you're going to have Jim come and walk around the warehouse because we have so many different options now to drop in.
He's been bugging me.
Yeah, drop in and do a lot of the different resins as well. So grab some Gel de Soleil. I think it's the easiest resin by far.
There's nothing hard about it.
Yeah, there's nothing hard. You just kind of glue in and
it has like a little eyedropper tip, so you're not going to dump it all out.
If you can pour glue and do the gel glue, you're good with.
Already we lost some people.
Yeah, we already lost some people too. If you don't glue your fingers together more than once a week, you're good to go.
Yeah.
So you're good to go.
Super easy. Yeah, like
super
you said,
easy to
great
work
for
with.
kids.
And then we
anybody.
have all kinds of rings and examples that we can do. So again, if you need any of the Gel de Soleil, we'll put some links down below to purchase from us online at PotomacBeads.com. You can also check out below us. We have a little bell. If you hit that bell, you can subscribe to us to get regular videos and spotlights and tutorials.
So you know every time we're
on, as well as joining us and seeing what we create and ways to make you a better beater. So enjoy your Gel de Soleil. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you later.